Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're all doing well. Today is going to be my Dragunity combo guide for TCG Glorious Gallery. If you guys didn't see my previous video on Constellar and Shaddoll, I said I wanted to make at least one video on the three big archetypes getting support in this set. That would be Dragunity, Constellar, and Shaddoll. Each of them are getting a really big wave of support in this set. As I said, I already made the video on Constellar and Shaddoll, so I'm really happy to make the Dragunity video. If you guys want to see the Constellar and the Shaddoll video, I already uploaded both on my channel. So I'm really happy to make this video because once this goes up, I made a video on one each and I did what I said I wanted to do. Now if you aren't aware, originally I wasn't going to make any of these videos. I was basically just going to focus on making Synchron videos because that's my favorite archetype getting support in the set. But the reason why I wanted to make at least one video on each archetype is because nobody's making videos on them. It's honestly really sad, but if you tried to find a Constellar, Shaddoll, or Dragunity combo video, there's basically none for the TCG. Right before I started to record this video, I went online to check any combos. I wanted to see if there's any Constellar, Dragunity, or Shaddoll combos in the TCG, but I couldn't find any. The only videos that show up are my own. It's honestly really sad because I think all three archetypes are really cool. These archetypes are also not as bad as some people say. I know a lot of people think they're really bad. Trust me, as someone who plays all three, they're really not that terrible. But that's basically the reason why I wanted to make at least one video on each different archetype. It's honestly really sad and I feel bad for the player bases because a lot of people do want to watch videos on these cards for the TCG, but unfortunately there are no combo videos in the TCG to watch. I remember the time before I made videos, whenever an archetype I like got support, I always went to YouTube to see some videos on them, but unfortunately for me, nobody ever made combo videos on them. This is why I wanted to make at least one video, so hopefully if you like any of these archetypes, these videos are at least entertaining if not informative. So I have a really fun Dragunity combo to show you guys today. This is gonna be a Dragunity combo that beats Nibiru, Alba, Lenatus, and also Super Polymerization. This combo will also not require you to use any Amorphage cards. Now the Amorphage cards are really good because it can stop your opponent from activating a spell card or summoning from the extra deck. The only reason why I don't want to run those cards in these combos is because they're really bricky and I honestly don't see a reason why you want to run them in Dragunity anymore. The reason why I say that is because if you want to do the Amorphage block, you might as well play Power Patron. The Power Patron deck is way better than Dragunity. If you guys haven't seen, Power Patron got a ton of support in Blazing Dominion and they're really good now. That deck without a doubt is the best at Amorphage blocking your opponent. That's basically the reason why I don't want to run the Amorphage block in Dragunity anymore. If I want to Amorphage block someone, I might as well play Power Patron. I would be doing the exact same thing except I'm playing a real good deck. So this is why I didn't want to use the Amorphage cards in my Dragunity combo. I wanted to make the Dragunity combo at least somewhat unique. Now before I jump into the combos, I do want to show you guys a deck list and a deck core. The reason why I like showing you guys this is because I know most people just show you guys a deck list, but I think a deck core is really useful. It basically tells you all the cards that you have to run in your engine and how much room you have for non-engine. Also, if you don't like the deck list I'm using, you can just take the engine cards that you have to run and put whatever non-engine you want. So I'm going to show you guys the deck list and the deck core and then we'll jump into the combos. Now here's my Dragunity deck core and I'm honestly really happy with it because I'm only running 19 cards here. I see some people play some really high engine count in Dragunity and I really wouldn't advise it. I think the quality of certain Dragunity cards are very low, so I really don't want to see them in my opening hand. Now even though I'm really happy with a low engine in Dragunity, one issue I have is how bricky this deck is. Just take a look at all the cards in this deck that don't do anything by itself. You have Falchion, Phalanx, Kuth, Legatus, Mistletoe, Zephyros, and Samsara Dragon. Then you also have Divine Wind, Glow, and Lance. This deck is honestly so fun to play, but there's so many bricks. Now some of the bricks are really not the worst bricks to open in your hand. For example, opening a card like Falchion is pretty decent and so is Divine Lance. Opening Legatus is okay sometimes, but your natural starter is going to be Carinas. If he gets hit by a hand trap, Legatus really isn't that great. Now another really important thing about my deck list is I'm not running any copy of Baby Rock or Ringo Worm. I think most people play Ringo Worm, but in my opinion Baby Rock was always better. Because Ringo Worm's a light, basically you can hit by Bestial before you make Crystal Wing, which is really bad. Because Baby Rock is a wind, it can't be hit by Bestial, so you can just make Crystal Wing. Now it really doesn't matter which one you play before because now you don't have to run either of them. Basically in every Dragunity combo line I've made, you don't need Baby Rock or Ringo Worm anymore. It's honestly really nice, even in the anti-Nibiru combos you don't require them. It basically means you can cut a brick out of your deck for free. That's honestly always a good thing. I'll talk about it more at the end of the video, but Baby Rock and Ringo Worm are gone. One less brick to play in the deck, which is a really good thing. Now here's my full deck list for anyone who wants it. I'm gonna leave it on the screen for a bit so you guys can take a screenshot if you want it. I'll talk about it more in depth at the end of the video, but right now I just want to show you guys the combo. So here's probably my favorite Dragunity combo I ever made. This combo is honestly really fun. So for this combo, you're only going to need Remus in your hand plus any card in your hand you can discard. You're going to activate the effect of Remus here. You can discard this card from your hand to add a copy of Dragon Ravine from your deck to your hand. Now you're going to activate the Dragon Ravine in your hand. You get to send a card from your hand to the grave to pick one of these effects. You get to add one level 4 Allure Dragunity monster from your deck to your hand, or you get to send one Dragon monster from your deck to the grave. Now you're going to discard any card in your hand so you can add a Dragunity monster from your deck to your hand. Now you're going to add Dragunity Carinas to your hand. Now because you haven't normal summoned yet, you're going to normal summon Carinas. Now you're going to activate this card effect, and now you get to add a Dragunity spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Now most people add Divine Lance here, but we're going to add a different card. You're going to add Dragunity Divine Wind. Now because you control a Dragunity monster on your field, you get to activate the effect of Remus in your grave. You get to summon this card from your grave, but the card will become banished when the card leaves the field. That's honestly fine though, it's really not that big of a deal. Now you're going to take Remus and Carinas to synchro summon into Guidurg. Now the effect of Guidurg will activate here. Now you get to add one level 4 Allure Dragon or Wing Beast monster from your deck deck, and then you have to discard a dragon or wing beast monster from your hand. Now you're going to add Falchion here and discard the card. Now you're going to activate the effect of Falchion here. You get to banish this card from the grave to target a Dragunity monster you control. You get to take one dragon Dragunity monster from your deck and equip it onto that card. So now you're going to target Guideric and you equip Phalanx onto it. Now you're going to activate the effect of Phalanx to unequip itself to summon itself. Now you're going to take Phalanx and Guideric to Synchro Summon into Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. This is also on Summon 5 by the way, so you're safe from Nibiru. Now Nibiru is honestly really bad in this format right now, but if you can play around Nibiru you might as well. It will also mean if your opponent has a monster hand trap they have to activate it on Crystal Wing. They could not save it for Divine Wind, which is the most important part. Now you're going to send Dragon Ravine from your field spell zone to the grave to activate Divine Wind. Now you're going to activate the effect of Divine Wind here, and because you have Ravine in your grave you get both of the effects. Now you get to add back a dragon or wing beast monster in your grave, and then you get to summon a Dragunity monster from your hand. After you summon the monster too, you also get to take a Dragunity dragon and equip it onto that card. So now you're going to add back Carinus here, and then you're going to summon the card. So now you're going to take Kus from your deck and equip it onto Carinus. Now you're going to activate the effect of Kus here to unequip itself to summon itself. You're also going to treat Kus as a level 4 monster here to Synchro Summon. Now you're going to Synchro Summon Dragunity Knight Barcha. Now the effect of Barcha will activate here. When this card is Synchro Summoned, you get to equip as many Dragon Dragunity monsters from your grave onto this card. You're going to take Phalanx, Kus, and Guideric and equip it onto Barcha. Now it's also really important that you equip Guideric onto Barcha here. You're going to see why. Now you're going to activate both the effect of Phalanx and Kus to summon themselves. Then you're going to take both monsters to link summon into Romulus. Now the effect of Romulus will activate here. Now you get to add one Dragunity spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Now the card that you're going to add to your hand is going to be Dragunity Glow. Now you're going to activate Glow here, and now you're going to take Mistletoe and add the card to your hand. Now this is my favorite part of this combo. What you're going to do here is activate the effect of Glow in your grave and banish this card. Now you get to target a monster in your spell and trap zone and summon it. Now you're going to special summon the Guideric in your spell and trap zone. This is honestly really cool. Normally in the older Dragunity combos, what you'd have to do is summon Mistletoe and equip Guideric onto it. Then you'd have to use Glow to summon the Guideric, but this combo is so much better. Basically you get to keep the Mistletoe in your hand and you get a free Guideric. I found this combo line out a long time ago back in the OCG when Divine One got revealed. I've tested out many different combo lines in this one, but this one is by far the best one. This combo line by far is the most efficient way to use Barcha and Glow together. This is why this is my favorite combo I ever made. If you guys don't know, optimization is my favorite thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! Finding out better ways to do the exact same combo is really cool. If you guys want to see some other Dragunity combos, I have a ton of Dragunity videos back when these cards first got revealed in the OCG. I don't think any of those combos are better than this one though. Now you're going to activate the effect of Guideric here, and now you're going to add Zephyrus to your hand and then discard the card. Now you're going to special summon Mistletoe from your hand by sending Barcha to the grave. Now the effect of Mistletoe will activate here because this card was summoned from your hand. Now you get to take one Dragunity dragon monster in your grave and equip it onto this card. Now you're going to take either Phalanx or Kus and equip it onto Mistletoe. It really doesn't matter. For my example here, I'm just going to use Kus. Now you're going to activate the effect of Kus to unequip itself to summon itself. Now you're going to take Mistletoe and Guideric to Exceed Summon into Atum. Now you're going to activate the effect of Atum here. By detaching one Exceed material from this card, you get to summon a dragon monster from your deck. You can detach either Mistletoe or Guideric here, it really doesn't matter. Now you're going to special summon Samsara Dragon from your deck. Now you're going to take Atum here and Samsara Dragon to link summon into Heretic Seal. Now you're going to activate the effect of Samsara Dragon in your grave. You're going to banish this card from your grave to add Mistletoe to your hand. Now you also get to tribute summon your Mistletoe here, so you're going to tribute over your Heretic Seal. Now two effects are going to activate here, the effect of Seal and the effect of Mistletoe. Now because Heretic Seal was tributed, you get to summon one dragon monster from your deck. So now you're going to summon Bestial Magnemite from your deck. Now the effect of Mistletoe will activate here and equip Phalanx onto it. Now you're going to activate the effect of Bestial Magnemite here. Because this card was special summoned, you get to add a dragon monster from your deck or grave to your hand during the end phase. You're going to activate the effect of Phalanx here to summon itself from your spell and trap zone. Now the next part here is really important because you're going to summon Pisty eventually. However, before you do that, you want to activate the effect of Zephyros. The reason why is because as long as Pisty is on the field, you cannot special summon any monsters except for dragons. This is why it's incredibly important that you summon Zephyros now. So now you're going to activate the effect of Zephyros here to bounce Magnemite to your hand. Now you get to summon Zephyros from your grave, and now you take 400 damage. Now you're going to take Phalanx and Zephyros to synchro summon into Lewin. Now the effect of Lewin will activate and let you target the Phalanx in your grave and equip it onto it. Now you're going to take your Kus and turn it into Pisty. Now you're going to activate the effect of Phalanx to unequip itself. You're also going to take your Phalanx and your Romulus to summon Triple Burst Dragon. Now I know Triple Burst Dragon really isn't that great, but unfortunately we have to make do. There is no Halqifibrax Prism yet in the TCG. The card's going to take a while to come out as well, so we have to use Triple Burst Dragon here. Now you're going to activate the effect of Pisty here. Now because Triple Burst Dragon and Pisty point to the same zone, you get to summon a dragon monster from your grave or banishment. You're going to summon back your Falchion here. It's really important to summon Falchion here because now when you link the card off, it's going to go back to your grave. That means you have a Falchion for next turn. Now you're going to take Falchion and you're going to take Triple Burst Dragon to link summon into Georgius. This is definitely one of the best Dragunity cards ever made, maybe even the best one. Now you're going to activate the effect of Georgius here. If this card is link summoned, you get to special summon a Dragunity level 5 or higher monster from your extra deck or your grave. Now you're going to summon Trident here, and this is how you're going to beat Super Polymerization and Alba Lenatus. Dragunity Knight Trident's honestly kind of broken, you're going to see why. What this card will let you do is send up to 3 cards you control to the grave, and then you get to look at your opponent's extra deck and send that many cards to the grave. Extra deck ripping is already really strong, but this is how you're going to beat Super Polymerization and Alba Lenatus. Now you're going to activate the effect of Trident here, and now you're going to send Trident, Pisty, and Lewin to the grave. So as I mentioned earlier, if your opponent has a bunch of Super Poly targets in their extra deck, you get to send them all to the grave. Like I said if they have Alba Lenatus 2, you send that one to the grave as well. Or if they don't have any of those, you just take away their 3 best cards. Your opponent will basically lose at that point. Now the effect of Lewin will activate here because this card was sent to the grave. Now you get to target a Dragunity monster you control and equip Lewin onto it. Now you're going to equip Lewin onto Georgius, and this is amazing. Now because Georgius has Lewin equipped onto it, the Floodgate effect is live. Now your opponent cannot activate any monster effects in the grave. This is really important because if you send Alba Lenatus to the grave, that card's effect will activate during the end phase. It will let your opponent add a fusion spell card from their deck to their hand. Now because Georgius is equipped with Lewin, your opponent cannot activate that effect. Now you're still not done here, you can keep comboing. You're going to activate the effect of Bestial Magnemite here and target a lighter dark monster in your grave and banish it. It really doesn't matter what you target here, I'm just going to target my Atum. I'm going to banish this card from our grave and now I get to summon Magnemite. Now you're going to take Magnemite and you're going to take Mistleton to Xyz summon. You're going to Xyz summon Evolzar Lars. This is a really spicy tech card I don't see any other Dragunity player using. You guys should definitely run this card. While this card is Xyz material, your opponent cannot target it with card effects, which is pretty nice, but the best thing is this card is an Omni Negate. When your opponent would activate a card or effect, you get to detach 2 materials from this card and now you get to target a card they control. You get to negate that card's effects. This card is honestly really strong. It's basically like a makeshift Savage Dragon. This card is basically my Savage Dragon while Savage Dragon is banned in the TCG. The card is also really easy to summon because I have so many Bestials and I play so many level 6 Dragon monsters. It's honestly not that hard to make. Now here you're going to end your turn and now you get to activate the effect of Magnemite. Now you get to add a Dragon monster from your deck to your hand. I'm just going to add Baldrake here. Now you can also add Drewstorm if you're playing it because neither of the effects are relevant here. The reason why is because I don't have another monster to tribute for the effect of Baldrake. Now I'll show you how this combo board plays out. When your opponent would special summon a monster to their field, you get to activate the effect of Georgius again. Now you get to special summon a Reed Bear from your extra deck. This is really great because a Reed Bear is another monster negate. When your opponent would activate a monster effect, you get to negate that with Crystal Wing. When your opponent would activate another monster effect, you get to negate that with a Reed Bear. All you have to do is banish a Dragunity monster from your grave. Now when your opponent activates any card on the field you want to negate, you're going to activate the effect of Lars. Just attach 2 materials from this card to target that card and negate it. Also when your opponent would activate a spell or trap, you get to negate that off the effect of Georgius. The best part is Georgius will send Lewin to the grave, but that will trigger the effect of Lewin. Now this card will become re-equipped to Georgius. This is very nice because the Floodgate effect is still live. Now you're also going to have a live Bestial in your hand, even though it probably won't matter because Baldrake really isn't that great now. Banishing a lighter dark monster from your opponent's grave really isn't that great now. The main reason why is because Georgius is already going to prevent your opponent from activating monster effects in the grave. However, if you still want to banish it, you still can, so you get a free summon for Baldrake, but at the same time you cannot activate Baldrake's second effect because you don't have another lighter dark monster on the field. Also because you still have Divine Wind on your field, you have a guaranteed follow-up on your next turn. You get to add back any dragon or wing beast monster in your grave. You also still have your Falchion in your grave for next turn as well. So you get 2 monster negates, an Omni negate, a spell and trap negate, a Floodgate, and you also get a Bestial. This combo will also beat Alba Lenatus and Super Polymerization. If your opponent doesn't have either, you just snipe the best cards out of their extra deck. I think this is probably my favorite Dragunity combo right now. So now that the combo is finished, I'm going to show you guys the deck list and the deck core one more time, and then we're going to say goodbye. Once again, here's my deck core, guys, and I'm very happy with it. Getting it to below 20 cards was definitely my goal when I made this deck core. I'm also really happy because, as I said, you don't have to run Baby Rock or Ringo Worm anymore. These 2 cards were honestly really good for their time, and I honestly really do miss Baby Rock. I've been using that card for so long, and this is the first time I ever cut the card. Basically, in the 1-card Karinas combo or the anti-Nib combo, you don't need Baby Rock or Ringo Worm anymore. First of all, Nibiru is not even real in this format right now because nobody's running the card. Even if it was to anti-Nibiru, you don't need Baby Rock or Ringo Worm anymore. Baby Rock was honestly a really great card for its time, though I will miss the card. But unfortunately, it's time to say goodbye. Now, if you do want to play a higher Dragunity engine, you can also max out on Divine Wind. Divine Wind is honestly a really good card. People are really sleeping on it. Not only does the card help you unbreak your hand, but at the same time, it's really nice for a grind game. Being able to add any dragon card from your grave to your hand is amazing. The card that you add back doesn't even have to be a Dragunity card, it can be a hand trap like a Bestial. It gives you a really nice grind game, honestly. The reason why I'm not playing more copies of Divine Wind is because I don't want to play more copies of the other monsters. Basically, you want to maximize on copies of Remus and Karinas, but the other ones are really bad. Cards like Phalanx, Kus, and Legatus are really bad to open in your hand, you basically don't want to draw them either. Really, the only other card that you might want to play another copy of is Falchion, but even at 1, I'm still pretty happy with that number. The card is a really nice extender and really good removal, but at the same time, it's still a brick. This deck already has enough of those. Now, here's my full deck list if you guys want to see it again. Now, a really nice engine you guys can play in this deck is Kashtira Fenrir. Basically, you have 3 Remus, 3 Dragon Ravine, 3 Karinas, and 1 Terraforming. Having only 10 starter cards in your deck is not a good number. Basically now, because you have 3 Kashtira Fenrir and 1 Pressured Planet, it's enough. 14 is honestly acceptable. Now, I don't know if you guys play Master Duel, but I'll tell you a really funny story. Right before the new Dragunity cards came out in Master Duel, Konami put Kashtira Fenrir to 3. This card was at 1 in Master Duel for a really long time. The funny thing is that they moved this card to 3 right before the Dragunity support came out. Did Konami know that Kashtira Fenrir was going to be really good in Dragunity? It could be a coincidence, but it's really funny to me. Maybe Konami was aware that this deck doesn't have enough starters, so they put this card to 3. That would honestly make me laugh a lot. Now, the only downside about running Kashtira Fenrir is that I can't play Super Polymerization. Basically, the problem is Super Poly is really great in this format. It's one of the best cards by far. The problem is if you run Super Poly, you can't use Fenrir. The reason why is because because if I super poly away my opponent's board, I have a monster on my field. I can't summon Fenrir because I have a monster. It's honestly really unfortunate because you have a ton of space in the extra deck. A lot of the cards I'm running here is just preference, you can cut them out. You honestly don't need cards like Ancient Fairy, Dragon, Lars, Atum, or even Trident. You have 4 open spots in the extra deck, so if you wanted to, you could actually play Super Poly. It's really unfortunate that you have to play Fenrir as a starter card. Now, a really great tech card I find in Dragunity is a Bolzar Lars. I've never seen anyone else run this card in Dragunity, and I don't know why. This card is honestly really nice. There's no Borreload Savage Dragon in the TCG, and this card is kinda like Savage Dragon. Obviously, this card is not as good, but it's really easy to summon. 2 level 6 monsters in Dragunity is incredibly easy to make. You have a bunch of Bystials, you have Guidurgon, you have Mistletoe. Evolzar Lars is honestly one of the easiest cards to make in this deck. I would definitely recommend you guys give this guy a try. He has not let me down yet. Now, the side deck isn't a real side deck, it's just cards that you could play if you want to. For example, I already talked about Super Poly, but you could also play another card like a Roos. In all my testing, I found this card incredibly subpar, but you guys can run it if you want to. Now, the video is about to end, so I'm just gonna leave my deck list on the screen for a little bit longer. If you guys still want to, just pause the video and take a screenshot. Now you're gonna have my entire deck list for later. Also, I'm very happy I was finally able to make one video each for Dragunity, Constellar, and Shaddoll. I really wanted to make one video each for each community, so I'm very glad I was able to do that. So that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys for the next video. Take care, guys.